Okay, imagine this. The best team in the entire league, right on the verge of winning a championship, suddenly vanishes. I'm not talking about relocating or folding after a terrible season. I mean completely wiped from existence right at the peak of their power. It sounds like something out of a movie, but it is the very real and very, very strange story of the Hamilton Tigers.
So how does something like that even happen? How does the top team in the entire NHL just get erased from history, basically overnight? Well, it's an unbelievable story of triumph, of shocking defiance, and believe it or not, a fight over a few $100s that changed absolutely everything. You see, for 5 short seasons, from 1920 to 1925, the Hamilton Tigers were a part of the young National Hockey League. And in that incredibly brief time, they managed to author one of the most dramatic rise and fall stories the sport has ever seen. To really get how the Tigers vanished, we first have to understand where they came from. And, surprisingly, their story doesn't actually begin in Hamilton at all. It starts in Quebec. Before they were the Tigers, they were the Quebec Bulldogs, one of the NHL's original founding teams. But let's just say their history wasn't exactly glorious. In their last season up in Quebec, they won just 4 games and lost 20. The team was hemorrhaging money and was basically on the brink of collapse. So the NHL sold the struggling franchise to a group in Hamilton, Ontario. Now, at the time, Hamilton was a major Canadian city, and for the young league, it was a really important market to be in. The hope was, new city, new name, maybe that'll mean a fresh start and hopefully better results.
But that fresh start, it didn't exactly go as planned. Turns out a change of scenery did very little to change the team's luck on the ice. I mean, just look at this. The consistency of their failure was almost impressive, right? In a league that only had 4 teams, they finished 4th every single year. For 4 straight seasons, the Hamilton Tigers were, without a doubt, the worst team in the National Hockey League. And it wasn't for a lack of trying. Management was desperate. They hired and fired coaches, including future Hall of Famer Art Ross. They even traded away their superstar scorer, Joe Malone, which, as you can imagine, made the fans furious. They were just constantly shuffling the roster, trying to find any combination that could win. And for 4 long years, absolutely nothing worked. And then, just when everyone had completely written them off, the unimaginable happened. The 1924-25 season would go down as one of hockey's greatest turnaround stories. The season began, and suddenly, this team of perennial losers just couldn't lose. They were completely dominant. Halfway through the year, they'd already won more games than they had in any previous full season. It was a total and complete transformation. Just look at that turnaround. It's wild. After 4 straight years at the absolute bottom, they leapfrogged the entire league to finish in first place. The league's doormat was now its undisputed champion. They were the best team in the NHL, which earned them a direct ticket to the league finals. The city of Hamilton was ecstatic. The Stanley Cup, the ultimate prize, was finally within their grasp. But this is where the story takes its disastrous turn. It all started on the train ride home after their final regular season game. The players got together and made a decision that would seal not only their fate, but the fate of the entire franchise. So here's the crucial background. Before the season, the NHL had expanded the schedule from 24 games to 30 games. That's 6 extra games of travel, of practice, of physical, brutal hockey. And this is the key, the players' salaries hadn't gone up at all. They felt like they were being forced to work for free. So they went to their general manager with a pretty simple ultimatum. Pay each of us an extra $200 for those 6 games, or we will not step on the ice for the playoffs. And just like that, you had the first player strike in NHL history. And this wasn't some quiet backroom disagreement. Oh no. It exploded into public view. Headlines like this one from The Globe shouted the news. Hamilton pros on strike. The best team in the league was refusing to play for the championship. It was a huge deal. The conflict was pretty simple when you boil it down. The players' stance was, hey, we performed extra labor, we deserve extra pay. But management saw it differently. They argued that the contracts covered a specific time period, from December 1st to March 30th, not a specific number of games. So legally, they felt like they didn't owe the players another dime. Well, the team passed the issue on to the league president, Frank Calder, and he came down hard. He sided completely with management. He suspended the entire team, fined each player, and cleared them ineligible for the playoffs.
Just like that, their dream season was over.
But getting suspended was just the beginning. The fallout from this strike wouldn't just cost the players a shot at the cup, it would end up costing the city of Hamilton its entire team.
So what was the final price for the best team in hockey? $75,000. That's it. That's what a New York bootlegger named Big Bill Dwyer paid for the rights to every single player on the roster. Yeah, you heard that right. During the height of Prohibition, this bootlegger, Dwyer, bought up the suspended Tigers players to be the foundation for a brand new NHL expansion team he was starting in New York City. The fall was just so swift and so total. In the span of just a few weeks, the Tigers went from being the best in the league to on strike, to suspended, to dissolved. Their players were sold off to form a new team, the New York Americans, and the Hamilton Tigers just ceased to exist. And it all leads back to that one just staggering question. How could a team reach its absolute peak only to be completely destroyed over a demand for just $200 per player? It's a powerful lesson in how quickly victory can turn to ashes, and it's a story that remains one of the most bizarre and tragic in the history of professional sports.